Trafalgar Square. Oh yeah, baby.
We'll go the other way, I guess.
Look at this.
Thank you so much, please. Go grab one of those, please. I have
Seen our Scotland kit there, so we want to bring a little bit of arena. Batman serious, me not tell no lie. Me not turn no GUI. I couldn't wait them a stop. They got this sign.
I'm feeling yummy, yummy. I'm feeling yummy, head to toe, toe, toe. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the students of the London Contemporary Dance School and their Hogarthian rave. Special shout out to Sports Banger for amazing costumes as well. They'll be back again at 2 o'clock. Coming up next, we've got Boss Morris's and Stones in just a few minutes. One more time for Boris Morris and the Stones of Dundee. Ladies and thems, Croeso i Trafalgar Square. It's Fran Wen with a gift for the National Gallery.
teithio'r holl ffordd o Ogledd Cymru i ddychwelyd hwn. Gobeithiwn y byddwch yn ei rannu a balchder fel cydnabyddiaeth o'n cysylltiad ar adeilad, ei weithiau celf, yn ogystal â rôl y gwnaethom ei chwarae yn ei warchod yn ystod y gwrthdaro.
We've come all the way from North Wales to return this. We hope you'll share it proudly as an acknowledgement of our relationship to this building, its artworks and the role we played in keeping them safe.
Persian meal, guys. Working I'll just say what this is. We're going to have wrap. Talk a little bit about them. Can be a bit... I don't know about you guys, but when you've got a brass band playing like that, what more do you need before you see some strapping men and women absolutely dominating the floor? I'm very happy that you guys have joined us today. There's been some absolutely wild shenanigans going on, and that's just been my 5-year-old. You probably see her floating around trying to use me like a totem pole. But here we're going to have a few of my guys from the gym. We've got some guys from Plymouth as well. Been hanging around with them. You've also got Wales' strongest man floating around. You might see him. He's about the size of one of those lions. See him. Get a little picture with him. Alex, Benjamin, let's have you into the middle of the floor.
Sorry guys. Thank you so much.
I know some of this stuff is not going to be that traditional for you guys. But let's have a look around the square here and notice that most of the things here are probably not what you see. They're just going to be an easy, quick fix in modern society. We've gone for the community-driven aspect of strength, holistic strength, fitness. And when you look at these guys with a mohawk, they're both 7 foot tall. They're going to demonstrate the kind of things that make a yoga teacher look made of concrete. Gentlemen, take it away. We've got the mohawk, Ben Savin. He's working on the Persian meals. It's fluid, like warm butter in a pan. I don't want to say too much to him because I might put him off, so we'll give him 10 seconds. Yes, Ben! Alex, comrade, let's have a little bit of work on that steel garter. The steel garter. These guys I know are going to make that stuff look very easy. But trust me, some of you guys may have seen some of the units trying to use this stuff in those TikTok videos. I'm a 1981 baby, so I'm not personally on TikTok, but I still know the stuff I'm talking about. They make it look very challenging, which is why you get these small guys that only weigh 105 kilos offering these things up to the units. Mohawk, are you really doing that in the middle of Trafalgar Square? Of course you are! Look at those feet! Yes, Ben. If you're not impressed by that, guys, you need to get over there after this demonstration and feel those bits of timber. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Let's have the next people up. You're beautiful. They're my colleagues, I can say that. So next we've got Rafi Boy. Ralph actually competes in the sport of kettlebell sports. Ralph, let's have a look and just make those 24 kilos. That's around about 75% body weight for Ralph. I know that Ralph can lift long cycle like that for 10 minutes straight and knock out numerous repetitions. So most of us, when we start blowing out of our backsides, I'm going to make sure this is child friendly today. It's very difficult. But he can actually sustain that for 10 minutes. Every man wants that. I said child friendly. I've then got my wife, Mighty Maya. Thank you, I knew that was a good choice several years ago. Maya is very good at doing the odd object lifting. I know that at my expense. At the moment, she's doing a bit of a hybrid and a two hands anyhow. Woo! Styled that out beautifully. I don't know how she managed to do that. That was absolutely sweet. And Maya, let's have a little look at you on one of those frying pans, please. I know you've been walking around that crowd today. You might not realise this about my wife. Hopefully most of you don't. She actually competed in Britain's, I think it was back in, was it 2016, Maya? 2016, got a podium in that lightweight category. But there is nothing light about melting a frying pan with your bare hands. And that's the reason why we're still married. Ralph, let's have another 30 seconds on those beautiful bells, please. Guys, thank you so much. I didn't realise we had two frying pans that just got melted. Do you have one inside the other one? I just missed that. That was probably some kind of world record for planet Earth. Next people into the zone, please. Looks like we've got a dumbbell that's made from 2 asteroids. Got the right man for the job here. We've got Atlas. He's been working hard today, trying not to get cut to pieces on the mirror ball. My colleagues over here as well. We've got a strongman log going on. We've got a ridiculously heavy deadlift, pound for pound. So let's have that little demonstration of strength, please, Leonie. Let's get you working on that deadlift. I mean, to be honest, it looks like she's in ridiculous shape anyway. It looks like it just probably start floating off the floor without even doing anything. Beautiful. Let's get ourselves working on that log, strongman style. As they say, hips don't lie. And directly in my line of sight at the moment, it's got freedom to party directly behind you. And I know you can't see this, but you've got both of those lions either side of you. You look like one hell of a man. Get a few more reps just for me. High time indeed. Beautiful. If I could have somebody on the mats just near Charlie, please. Just in case. Thank you, strongman Dan. Charlie, away you go. Yes, Charlie boy! I am very, very happy. Very happy to see that. And now I know that Nelson behind us is going to be extremely happy to see this. I'm thinking Jason and the Argonauts at the moment, he's going to pop round and just start watching Charlie as well. Charlie, dog! That's why you are Atlas. Hashtag don't break the floor. We've all got homes to go to. Unfortunately, we can't get the card deadlift over here. The card deadlift over in the corner, but if we just have a little round of applause for strongman Dan and the guys controlling over there, please. Thank you very much for taking that. And we've got the guys over on the pull-up bar as well. We've got Andrew Julian and friends over there. I know the crowd have been getting involved, and that makes my job and their job that much sexier. Hopefully I can say that. So let's have the last group of people up, so we've got some natural stones. There's a little story that goes with these, and I'll keep it fairly micro as they're starting to warm up their loincloths on it. But I also take people to the mountains on the way back from Snowdonia. I saw that there was a Welsh quarry that I drove past when I was in my 110 Defender. I went in there and just spoke to this guy, not in Welsh, fortunately he spoke a little bit of English, probably more than me. And he and I had a conversation about getting these stones. This one over here that Ben's going to be lifting up, this one, the Fullstyrker, if you go over to Iceland, and I'm definitely saying that with no Icelandic accent whatsoever, you would not let out on that fishing boat in the Icelandic village unless you lifted this stone up. They just deemed you to be too weak and flaccid if you couldn't pick it up. So that's me out of the question. So I was staying on dry land. This one over here, the one with 7 kilo stone that we're going to be getting, Morgan bring it up to shoulder, as it says on the tin, but that one was a little micro dinny. You've got the dinny stones up in Scotland that are legendary stones of strength that were originally formulated by Donald Dinny. He used to walk them across the bridge, and that used to be that big showpiece. That's now, you'll see it in modern day strongman as well, where the old school side of strongman and goes into the modern era as well, which I find a beautiful thing. We've then got one of our gym mates, Amy, who's going to be doing some work with his 61 kilo stone, which is probably around about body weight. But who cares about body weight when you're as strong as a demon? So let's see these guys do a little bit of magic. Beautifully executed. I was expecting just to start strumming on that stone there as well, like a violin. Looked very easy. Viking. If you want people to look strong, you don't need to look too far, do you? He gets 10 kilos for the beard. Come on, Viking! You were made for this. Benjamin Beowulf Waters. Fullstalker meets fleshy human. And again. And again. And again. 5 in a row. Nobody saw that. Guys, we are going to be over in our little corner. You'll see us, strong people, right underneath Nelson. Please come over there, touch, lick, get your pictures with your kids, do whatever you want with our equipment. No funny business. We'll see you over there in about 5 minutes. Thank you so much.
He's like, it's amazing. I don't want to talk about it because like, I don't want to get around into what I was talking about it. But he's so right though. He's like, he's like, it's like smoking. It's like a triangle of like hand to mouth. All the good things go through your mouth. Ritual fire.
Thank you, Uncle. You feel real tight, man. I'm suggesting we did anything.
How can I make them smaller?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Very what am I doing?
Yeah, I said to Mom, I said, clean more of my glass for him. He was like, he's got this big bad history in his glass. And I was like, she goes, here, he's had me a lot of photos from the trip, and we looked through them.
Each year at the festival that they put on every year. There's like a procession, you have to get the ferry over to Anglesey or wherever. But my point was, for him and like Jamie Miller, for example, it does seem like there's a mixture of like very, I don't know, modern, but also like
Trafalgar Square. Welcome to the Red Square of Trafalgar, the Omar Rhymers. And feel free to get involved. There's going to be quite a jig to be had.